Hello everyone, this is fetal skull. Sometimes it is also referred as neonatal skull. Neonate means till the 28 days after birth. This is the vault of the skull, this is the facial skeleton, and this is the base of the fetal skull. Vault of the skull ossifies in membrane. So you can see these bones, these are showing this membranous ossification. Facial skeleton is small in fetal skull, forming just 1/7 of the total cranium. So here facial skeleton is small, forming 1/7 of the total cranium, while in case of adult it is forming half of the total cranium. This is because the maxilla is rudimentary, mandible rudimentary, maxillary air sinuses they are not developed, nasal cavities are small, teeth are not erupted, and alveolar arch they are not developed. As a result, the facial skeleton is small. However, you can see the orbits are quite large in size, and in between two orbits there is this nose. The floor of this nose is just below or at the level of this floor of the orbit, while in case of adult you can see the floor of this orbit is quite higher as compared to the floor of the nose. This is because the maxillary air sinuses they are developed in the adult skull. The floor of orbit just below this level there are germ of the upper tooth. Now the mandible is in two halves, united median plane as a fibrous joint. At 1 year of age it fuses to form symphysis menti. Angle of mandible, which is between this base of mandible and the posterior border of ramus of mandible, this is obtuse, around 140 degree. And the head of mandible, it is in same plane with that of the upper margin of the body of mandible. As a result, coronoid process is projecting upward. In case of adult mandible, this angle is reduced around 100 to 120 degree, and these two processes, coronoid and the head, they are in same line. The glabella is not developed, superciliary arches they are not developed, while in adult skull this glabella and superciliary arches they are well developed. You can see this frontal tuber and this parietal tuber, they are prominent in fetal skull. Frontal bone is present in two halves. In between this you can see this is the metopic suture. Now at the fore angle of this parietal bone you can see these membranous gaps. These are known as fontanelles. There are total 6 fontanelles. This is anterior fontanelle, this is posterior fontanelle, these are two median unpaired fontanelle, while two paired fontanelle, these are anterolateral or sphenoidal fontanelle and posterolateral or mastoid fontanelle. These gaps are present because the ossification of parietal bone, it starts from this parietal tuber and it spreads centrifugally. As a result, this ossification reaches the borders of this parietal bone first and to the angles of the parietal bone last. As a result, at the 4 angles of this parietal bone there are 4 membranous gaps. These fontanelles they are important as they allow molding of skull, that is overlapping of skull bone to some extent, and thus reducing the circumference of the fetal skull during the process of parturition, that is the birth of the child. This anterior fontanelle, it is diamond shape or rhomboid shape. This anterior fontanelle is between two parts of frontal bone and two parietal bones. Dimension of this is 4 cm length and 2.5 cm breadth. It is separated from superior sagittal sinus by scalp, then membranous precursor of the scalp bone, and endosteal dura from the superior sagittal sinus. Anterior fontanelle closes after 18 months to 2 years after birth. Posterior fontanelle, which is between parietal bone and occipital bone and is triangular in shape, closes by 2 to 3 months after birth. Anterolateral fontanelle, also known as sphenoidal fontanelle, closes by 2 to 3 months after birth, while posterolateral fontanelle or mastoid fontanelle closes by 1 year after birth. The time of closure of fontanelle is important. The fontanelle help us to identify the age of the child. These fontanelles are important as they allow the molding of the skull, that is overlapping of skull. As well as because of this membranous gap, there is a growth of the brain is allowed in early childhood. Anterior fontanelle is easily accessible to clinician. As a result, this helps us to determine age. Before 2 years, this is not fused. However, after 2 years, it is fused. Just below this anterior fontanelle, there is superior sagittal sinus. The superior sagittal sinus is accessible for intravenous infusion as well as for taking out the venous sample if needed. From the lateral angle of anterior fontanelle, if the needle is put laterally and downward, it enters into the lateral ventricle. The CSF sample can be taken out from this. However, it should be done under sonographic guidance by trained person. If the anterior fontanelle is bulging, that means there is raised intracranial tension. While if this fontanelle is depressed, then it means there is a dehydration, which may be because of diarrhea or any other cause. During parturition, per vaginally, the anterior fontanelle can be assessed to know the station of the fetal head for the progress of the labor.
In vertex position.
In vertex position. Nowadays, the fetal brain sonography is done to assess if there is any ischemic injury of the brain from this anterior fontanelle region, as the sonography is less invasive method. This anterior fontanelle in adult skull, it is replaced by the bregma. So this is the site of anterior fontanelle in fetal skull. Now here in fetal skull, external acoustic meatus is not well developed. Here you can see this is external acoustic meatus, which is in adult skull it is present, but in case of fetal skull, external acoustic meatus is in the form of a cartilage and it is bony part is not developed. The 3-ear ossicle, that is incus malleus stapes, they have reached almost adult size even in this small skull. Also the internal ear, it has reached the adult size. Then tympanic cavity, it is of almost adult size, as well as mastoid antrum, it is of adult size. Mandibular fossa in fetal skull is horizontal, while in adult skull you can see this is quite well developed as well. Tympanic plate is triangular here, while the tympanic plate in fetal skull is in the form of this C-shaped ring. So this is tympanic plate. The suprameatal triangle, which is here. In case of infant, deep to this suprameatal triangle, 2 to 3 millimeter deep to it, there is mastoid air cells. This thickness of the bone at the suprameatal triangle increases by 1 millimeter each year till it reaches 12 to 15 millimeter as in adult skull. So in adult skull, the suprameatal triangle here, the thickness of bone between this is around 12 to 15 millimeter from the mastoid air cells. In adults, this tympanic plate, you can see it is well developed and it is triangular. External acoustic meatus, this is the bony part which is well developed. In case of this fetal skull, you can see this tympanic plate is just in the form of this C-shaped ring, tympanic ring. And to this tympanic membrane is attached. So it is somewhat, tympanic membrane is obliquely and facing downward. And as the external acoustic meatus, the bony part is not developed, only cartilaginous part is there. This tympanic membrane is quite superficial. While inspecting this tympanic membrane, the ear pinna should be pulled downward and backward in case of infant. While in case of adult, we pull the ear pinna upward, backward and laterally to visualize the tympanic membrane. In case of fetal skull, you can see mastoid process is not developed. While in case of adult, this mastoid process is quite well developed, and here you can see stylomastoid foramen is well protected by this mastoid process. While as the mastoid process is not developed in this fetal skull, stylomastoid foramen is exposed to surface. The facial nerve exiting from it is quite superficial and it can be injured during the trauma behind ear pinna, which may be due to slapping or which may be while taking the incision behind the ear pinna. So care should be taken to protect the facial nerve in case of children below 2 years of age. As the mastoid process is not developed, mastoid process develops by around 2 years due to pull of sternocleidomastoid. So it is a traction epiphysis. So this is about the fetal skull. Thank you.